Hey guys, welcome back to another video on my channel. This is Snapshot 24w20a, and it's quite a small one. Now, last 2 weeks, their snapshots released on Fridays, and that was purely due to a holiday in Sweden. Snapshots have now returned to normal, and they will continue releasing on Wednesdays every week, unless it's pre-releases which don't have a set date. But let's cover what is new within this snapshot, as there is only a few changes, and the main change comes with witches. Witches now drop more redstone upon death. Before, they would drop 0 to 2, with an extra 1 being added for every level of looting. They will now drop 4 to 8 redstone, with 1 being added for every level of looting. So if we was to kill this witch, you can see that there is 4 redstone, and it seems like the redstone is now also more guaranteed than it was before, as when you kill a witch now, it is 100% chance that you will get redstone. Every witch you kill will give at least 4 redstone. This is now buffed redstone farms that rely on witches to drop it, as witches now guaranteed a drop of redstone, and it's quite a lot of redstone. I've almost got a stack from killing how many witches. We can check by statistics, mobs. I've killed 10 and got 53 redstone, and I don't even have looting. For the witch to drop this redstone, it doesn't need to be a player kill. If I was to kill a witch from full damage, you can see if I head down here, there is redstone on the floor, so you can get it even from killing witches in other sources. And then the next change inside of the snapshot comes with pistons. Pistons have been changed. The sound of them is now less harsh. That is so different. All they said they have done is changed how loud it is. That is a good change. I will increase the sound of it in editing so you guys can hear it a lot better. But although it's very subtle, it sounds more like the crafter being activated when that is activated. But I do like it because the piston sound was quite in your face and loud. And then there is only one other change apart from tech changes, which we'll cover in a second. And that is they have improved the player attributes and effect handling. Custom set base attributes are now kept when respawning, and active effects and modifiers are now kept when changing dimensions or winning the game. So this is good if you have custom mini games or something that customizes the player's attributes. If the player was to die or win the game, or go to the nether for example, these attributes will now be kept onto the player and they will not be reset back to default. So this does fix quite a big issue. If a map wanted to increase the attack damage for a player by doing it through the attribute command, they'd have to run the command every time the player died or every time the player entered a new dimension. Well, now that is no longer the case, and you can run it once, and it should stay on the player until you want to remove it. But there was a bug for a very long time, where if you was to enter mainly the end, I think it was, I don't think it affected the nether too much, but if you was to enter the end with a potion effect applied, that potion effect will be removed. So let's see if that is still the case. Let's drink ourselves a ominous bottle, as that gives us a bad omen, and if we now jump in to the end, does the effect stay on the player? It does. So that is a change that is really good to see, as if you have potion effects, they won't be wasted now. And then quickly jump into the patch notes for a quick second. They have also updated credits. I'm guessing this is just to update them and change them for people who have left Mojang or joined and things like that. And then they have also done some technical changes. They have added a dimension padding, which was added, I think, 2 snapshots ago, maybe last snapshot. And they have now changed it, so it has 2 fields, bottom and top. Bottom is the vertical padding at the bottom of the dimension. This is, for example, if you have a structure like the trial chamber, you enter this bottom value to stop it from generating close to the bedrock. So this is a non-negative integer. So how I think this works, if you enter a value of 10, it will only generate 10 blocks or more away from the bedrock layer at the bottom of the world. And the top is the vertical padding at the top of the dimension. So once again, if you enter, for example, 10, it will only generate 10 blocks or more from the top of the dimension. This is, I think, mainly used in the nether. It could also be used in the overworld to stop things like sky islands, structures like that. And you can see an example of how it works right here. So you can enter, for example, just 10, and that will do the padding for both top and bottom as 10. Or you can enter them differently. So if you want it to generate closer to the top than you do the bottom, you can do top 5, bottom 10. I really do like that Mojang are giving examples inside of the patch notes. They've done this quite a lot for the item components. And since that, they have been doing it quite regularly to explain a little bit more how to do it so players don't have to work around it themselves. They have also made 2 changes to enchantments in Data Driven. The field weight now has an upper bound of 1024, so you can no longer enter a weight above this. And the max level now has an upper bound of 255, so you can no longer enter 256 or more. Now, there are quite a few bug fixes, so let me quickly just go through these and pick out the decent ones. Here we go. Here is a bug that is listed. Status effects are lost when returning to the overworld from an exit end portal. I got it mistaken. I thought it was when entering the end, but it seems like it was when exiting the end. I exited the end and I still have the status effect, so that has once again been fixed anyway. They've also changed the weight of skeletons in swamps because it was too high before, causing less bogs to spawn. So you should see more bogged inside of the biome now and less skeletons. There was also a bug where when you would shear a bogged, the mushrooms would appear at the bogged's feet. Well, that has now been fixed and the mushrooms will appear at the bog's head. And there was also a bug where if do mob loot was false, the boggeds wouldn't give you mushrooms. That has now been fixed and you can see they will drop mushrooms even if this game rule is set to false. There was also a bug where the game rule do immediate respawn. If this was set to true, so you would respawn immediately, then players with the wind charging, the oozing or the weaving potion effects, these wouldn't work for a player because the game wouldn't register them as dying because they would instantly respawn in the world. The mace has also had a bug fix where it would only lose durability when you would do a smash attack. That has now been fixed, and if we was to grab ourselves a husk and then hit this husk just with the mace, you'll now see it loses durability as well. And it loses 1 durability every time you hit a mob. And then the last bug that is worth noting is if you had soul blocks and soul speed and you had partial blocks, so things like slabs, carpets or something, soul speed wouldn't work on these blocks. That has now been fixed and soul speed will once again work even if there is a partial block above the soul sand or soul soil. And before we end the video, there was one other bug that I did want to mention, and that was armor pieces would show really long tooltips. So the tooltip for a chest plate would show if it was on your head, legs or feet, although it couldn't go on them body slots. Well, that has now been reverted back, so it will now only show the slot it can be equipped to. But that's it for this snapshot. It's a very small one. Once again, there isn't too much to cover. We have covered the major bits. I really do like the witch change, as making redstone easier to obtain is only a good thing. But that now does make raid farms a lot more overpowered than before, because you will be getting a lot more redstone from them. But it does also then buff witch farms inside of the swamp hut. I won't be here for next week's snapshot as I'm away and I have pre-recorded videos, so you guys won't notice I'm gone, apart from I won't be active as much on Discord. And I'll cover any big changes in next week's snapshot the week after. But anyway, if you enjoyed this video, do leave a like and subscribe, and I guess I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!